3 forgotten female rappers of the 90s. Hip-hop and rap music has always been dominated by the masculine, braggadocious, loud and aggressive male artists who set the tone for what the fans wanted to hear and dictated the direction of hip-hop since its conception. Being as it was, females in rap have always fought an uphill battle of can I rap just like the boys, bring the same energy, write music both genders could rock to, tell stories that were convincing, all while looking appealing to the eyes in order to attract the most attention possible. In the 90s, female artists didn't have much room to work with, as they either had to be aggressive and tight-faced to match the male energy, or they had to be promiscuous enough to be irresistible on the big screen, as nothing sells more than sex. Of course, you had some that were simply talented enough to fight through the stereotypes, but for the most part, being a female rapper in the 90s was a hard shell to crack, and only a select few rose to the top every other year that lasted long enough to create their own legacy. Some, like today's feature, had a spark when they started, but couldn't catch flame or it went out sooner than imagined. They were arguably just as talented but fell under bad deals, lack of focus from the labels, bad timing, or the industry not exactly ready to learn and understand how to profit off a style that wasn't your typical. Either way, 90s hip-hop was a golden era for female rap just as it was on the male side. Back then, most females didn't have to perform 80% of the time, whether on stage or in front of the camera, with their back turned and their hands on their knees to get a reaction from the crowd. You had to actually have skill and a presence the men could respect and the females could champion. Yes, you had your Foxy Browns, Lil' Kim, Trina, and even Salt and Pepper that played into the lustful fantasies of the male gender, but then you had artists like Lauryn Hill, Rod Digger, Lady of Rage, Da Brat, Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, and more that had something meaningful to say and were some of the most creative, male or female, leaving classics behind that became some of the best work from that era. Today's feature are 3 female 90s rappers that definitely had something about them they could sell, like Queen Pen, that had a few hit songs under her belt, like Party Ain't a Party and No Diggity, along with having an interesting story of how it all began. Or Mia X, the witty spitter with the skills to roll with the boys and become the first female signed to the legendary No Limit. Then there's Soleil, who had the #1 rap song according to Billboard that was voted the rap song of the year at their 1999 Music Awards. They had success initially, then it all fell apart musically and they never became what many thought they would have for these reasons. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to Florida's _finest 05 for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Queen Pen from Brooklyn, New York was a rapper discovered in the most unlikely place and by the most unlikely of people. She was at an IHOP restaurant in Virginia Beach, Virginia at the same time as legendary music producer Teddy Riley. Her energy must have drew him in, and soon after she began rapping for him, immediately being invited to the studio to add vocals to a song Riley thought she'd be perfect for. The song was the 96 hit single No Diggity, which became her and Riley's biggest song. It was #1 on the Billboard charts and won a Grammy in 1998. Soleil was a rapper from Kansas City, Missouri that didn't need introduction to music as many of her family members played some role in music, and for her, rapping started around as early as 6 years old. She signed her first deal in 1990, but after it didn't work out, her father encouraged her to go to college and she did. It wouldn't be until 1999 when she got her huge break as a feature on JT Money's hit Who Dat that was the #1 rap song in the country and top 5 on the Billboard 100. She released her debut album in 99 as well that included Who Dat, and it went gold and actually earned her a nomination for Rap Artist of the Year at the BMAs. She wouldn't release another album for 20 years. Mia X was a rapper from New Orleans, Louisiana that also had a college background before deciding to focus on music. She signed a few deals that didn't go anywhere around 1992, but it gave her musical experience. She released her debut album Mommy Dearest on Emoja/Slaughterhouse Records in 95 before breaking contract to sign with No Limit and Master P, becoming their first female rapper, releasing her major label debut that year as well. Mia X from gold artist to hiatus in less than 2 years. No Limit Records in the late 90s was a juggernaut hip-hop label, the first of its kind from New Orleans, dominated by male artists like Master P and his brothers Silk the Shocker and C Murder. Mia was signed because Master P saw her versatility as a singer and fiery spitter that wasn't playing the dolled-up games of selling sex to win. She rapped just as good or better than most male artists and was one of the pioneer Southern female acts, seeing success by just her second album, Unladylike. She describes the album title as her perception of how a strong female that's after hers, about her business and outspoken are looked at by chauvinists as out of place for a lady who most times are expected to stand on the side, be quiet, and look cute for the males in the room. For her, she had other ideas and was skilled enough to prove it, having her talent and skills play the forefront to her artistry. After her first album on No Limit, Good Girl Gone Bad failed to chart in 95, she came back in 97 and released her best work. The album peaked at 21 on the Billboard chart and number 2 in hip-hop and R&B behind the hit single Party Don't Stop featuring Foxy Brown and Master P. In 1998, she returned with a third album that performed even better on the Billboard 100, but didn't sell like her album prior. 99 was a tragic year for Mia, seeing the death of 14 family members within the next 18 months, including her parents. It forced her into a hiatus, one she'd never return from, as the layout with her label and the industry was much different. Master P had become a household name in more than music and began focusing on other business endeavors, leaving many on the label to fend for themselves. Mia hadn't built enough fan base to stand on her own, and the disconnect with Master P frustrated her and led her to finding different direction as well. She dabbled in real estate and being a ghostwriter for some time, and even began a small cooking show and working on her own cookbook, which released in 2018. Soleil, a complete change in direction. 6 years old is a very young age to already know what you want to do in life, but was easy for Soleil as her family were filled with musical talents and musicians to influence her into starting her own small group at 13 years old in 1986. Her first recording deal fell through, leading to pursuing education, and thereafter she jumped both feet in by 24 with the help of local legend Tech Nine and Don Juan, who led her to Red Zone Entertainment as a hardcore female rapper. By 99, she caught the attention of rapper JT Money, who was gearing up for his 99 release Pimpin' on Wax, and added Soleil to his soon-to-be hit Who that was a rowdy chant record that instantly became a hit on the charts and set a then record 8 weeks holding the #1 spot. The industry became interested in the tall, attractive, foul-mouthed female gangsta rapper to fill a lane popular at the time, and Soleil reacted, releasing her debut album Skin Deep in sequel to the success of Who Dat and 456 featuring JT Money. She couldn't have had more success so early in the game, Skin Deep going gold, and as mentioned received many nominations and awards like a nomination for Rap Artist of the Year by Billboard and recognition from ASCAP and their music awards. In 2000, her next single, It Wasn't Me, released featuring her future husband, Genuine, who she met the year before and was engaged to in 2000. Skin Deep, unfortunately, would be Soleil's only album in her prime, returning in 2019 with an independent project that focused on uplifting and inspiring her listeners with her story of leaving the music industry for a journey of self-development. Her and Genuine divorced in 2014, and she remarried Public Enemy's Professor Griff in 2017 and changed her name along with everything else. Queen Pen just disappeared. With one of the hardest female rap names of all time, Queen Pen fell into her rap career meeting Teddy Riley at an IHOP and being ready for her big break. Success came fast for Queen Pen, and at the highest level, having a younger Jay-Z write for her as a new artist and Teddy Riley producing her songs. She became his personal protege, and deservedly so, as she had a very distinct voice and sound before Foxy Brown took that lane and ran with it, which may have been one of the causes of their feud that lasted from 98 to 2006, including diss records and physical altercations and all. Before that, she added to the song No Diggity that was a #1 song on Billboard, even though later she missed out on being credited for her appearance on the song in some places. The record went platinum and won a Grammy for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group. She shined on her single Party Ain't a Party, which is considered a classic 90s hip-hop song. Even with the single's success, Penn's album didn't chart very well, causing her to fall into a hiatus from music after her 2001 album that sparked some controversy about her being a lesbian or bisexual, a rumor she'd later clear up and admit she let linger as ode to the saying all publicity is good publicity. After the album Conversations with Queen, she disappeared from the rap scene altogether to raise her 2 sons, who followed in mom's footsteps as rappers. She wrote a few novels in the 2000s, but as far as her rap career, 2001 was the end of the road. All in all, nothing is forever, and in such a saturated market like hip-hop dominated by the male presence since its conception, female artists in the 90s were either clear-cut stars of the future or had to take what they could get. All 3 of these artists had success in their day and are still well-respected rap artists, but for these reasons, their growth was stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.